Hello everybody and welcome to today's office hours. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name's Heather Murdoch. If you haven't met me before, I'm part of the Access Now success team. So it's my role to help you as Access Now publishers to be able to learn all the different tools that you have in Ezoic and the opportunity to use those to grow your business. So I do these live sessions every Tuesday now at 12 o'clock for 30 minutes and then Wednesdays at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. GMT. With each of my sessions, I'll stay online as long as the questions are coming in. I put the 30 minutes and the hour to one side. If you don't have any questions, if you feel you've got all the information that you need today, then I do finish the sessions earlier, and that's to enable me to answer people in either community or tickets and be able to get back to people quicker. So if you're watching this on replay, and thank you so much for everyone that does, I really do appreciate you taking that time and glad to hear that it's useful. We've got a thread in community, which is this one I've got up on the screen here, which is live learning with Heather. I put all the sort of recordings in there so you can watch them back, and if you do have any questions, feel free to add a note in there and I will take a look at that for you and get that answered just as soon as I can. My days off are normally Thursdays and Fridays at the moment, although I am away over the weekend as well this weekend. So if you do have any questions in this thread, it will be Monday before I can get back to you, but I will of course make sure that I get back to you with the answers that you're looking for. So we're waiting for our first question to come in, and I will just give it a couple more minutes, and if we don't have any questions come in, we'll finish today. But one thing I wanted to take you through today is this article about why increasing your number of site placeholders can earn you 66% more revenue. I know at the moment the main thing everyone is focused on is growing their traffic and growing their revenue, and I can certainly understand why that would be a focus. Obviously the main parts of your business. So what we've done as a company is we really wanted to understand more in-depth data about ad placeholders so that we could bring that to everyone and you could use that information to then perhaps change the setups you've got on your site or feel more confident certainly in doing that. We do understand that sometimes publishers are reluctant to put additional ad placeholders on their site. There's a concern that by having ad placeholders on their site, then definitely an ad will show, and that's certainly not the case. And the reason for that is that Ezoic is built with AI technology, and we will put ad placeholders we'll put ads in the ad placeholders which are going to be right for your reader that's on your website page, and that can be impacted by the device that they're using to access your site. So obviously a mobile is going to have much smaller screen, so obviously less ads are going to show, or if the broadband is very narrow, and we obviously prioritize loading up the content first and then ads are secondary. So there's lots and lots of different decisions that the AI makes in a very short period of time that means that each of your readers get a different ad experience and the one that's right for them. And obviously we do take in mind your optimization settings you've got set up in your Ezoic dashboard as well, so everything is fully customizable. And this article talks you through about how the volume of placeholders can impact revenue, and also the bigger story around that, because obviously it's not just a case of, oh, if I put 40 placeholders on my website page, that's going to get me X amount of EPMV or revenue. Obviously you're going to need to have enough content on there to ensure that you've got all those placeholders space for them, and then all the different factors that go into it as well. So I'll pop this in the chat for you so you can bookmark it and take a look at it later. I know how busy you are and how much you've got to juggle, but would definitely recommend taking some time to read through that. So Yang Mani has asked the first question. Thank you so much, Yang. Yang has said, hello Ezoic, please, my site has been removed from your monetization program due to invalid activity. I'm pleading with you to accept back. There are no more invalid activity going on again on the site. Okay, so for us to take a look at this, please do reach out to us in community. Once we have the information from you in there, we can take a look at this with our platform quality team and certainly look into this for you. So yeah, please reach out to us on community. You can find a community, let me just bring that up for you on the screen so you can see that at community.ezoic.com. If you head over there, you'll be able to log in and then ask your questions. So do let us know, Yang, and then we'll look at that for you and go from there. So GamingX has said, hi, I uploaded some content on my website using ChatGPT and it was well edited. After a few days when the content was indexed, there was a downward trend in traffic. Last week I removed that content and the website's back again. What does it mean? Note there was a Google update as well, thanks. So without looking at your data, it's impossible for us to be able to say what's happening on your site, GamingX. I know what it feels like. It feels like from your point of view that you've put ChatGPT generated content on your site, you've been penalized, and then by removing it, Google's given you your traffic back. It's very unlikely to be that. Google has said itself that AI content is absolutely fine. And obviously, if you've been following Twitter over these last couple of months, you'll see there's been a huge shift towards AI generated content. And even in Ezoic as well, we've done numerous different webinars about AI generated content, and it's something you'll see on our website blog as well as talking about generated content. So what I would recommend doing with this one, GamingX, is reaching out to us in community if you're Access Now publisher, or to your publisher success manager if you're level 1 or higher, and we can certainly take a look at that for you. Okay, so our next question is from Uma, has said, hello Heather, please I want to know if it's possible to change the date I'm making my Ezoic premium payment on. Yes, it certainly is, Uma. So welcome again to today. Thank you so much for joining me. But yes, absolutely, you can change your premium payment. All you need to do is reach out to us in community if you're a Access Now publisher, level 1 or higher, reach out to us on live chat and we can certainly take a look at that for you. What will happen is you will first of all need to pay your next payment at your original payment date, and then from there you'll get a secondary charge of the prorated charge between what the current date is and what your new charge is, and then from there going forward it will always be on that new date. Our next question is from MD Harbour. Raman, thank you so much for joining us today. Should I use mediation? Some of agents said sometimes it lowered down the bid floor. Yes, we would definitely recommend using mediation, and I can get you an article on that which talks you through that in detail, so bear with me. So again, we've done some research on this recently, and this article walks you through all of that information and the proof and data that we've got, which shows you that mediation can grow your site faster from a revenue point of view. So definitely worth taking a look at that and getting mediation set up. In short, what happens with mediation is that Ezoic puts a percentage of your traffic through Google AdSense, and it means that Google AdSense has to outbid itself and everyone else to place ads on your site, and Google will do that if it's seeing traffic coming to your site that is unique and really hard to find. They will outbid everybody, and it means that you feel confident that you aren't leaving any revenue on the table. Okay, so our next question is from Young, who has said the community told me that they can't accept my site. Unfortunately, Young, if the community team have said that, then we won't be able to move forward with that particular website, but it does mean that if you do have other sites that you would like to test out on Ezoic, we'd be, of course, delighted to have the opportunity to take a look at those. So if you do have any other sites, feel free to add them into your Ezoic dashboard, and then the process of checking them will start from there. Truck driver has said, I have not received my payments. What could be the problem? So there could be a couple of things going on here, truck driver. So the first is, please make sure you've got your tax information filled out. We aren't able to send any payments until that tax information is filled out. And then secondly, check to make sure that you haven't put your payment out revenue too high. What could have happened is that you may not have met that threshold just yet, and that has meant that that's why the payment hasn't been made. Gaming X has said, as of now, I turned off the Ezoic ads. Once the traffic is back, I will turn it on. Is it a good idea? No, it's not a good idea, Gaming X, because at the moment we don't know why your traffic has dropped. And so we need to find that out first. And then from there, you can make a decision as to what is happening on your site. Ezoic is a testing company and we're a data-driven company. So you need to make data-driven decisions to make your business grow in the best possible way. Until you can understand what's happening with that traffic, you're not going to be able to move forward confidently. So I would recommend reaching out to us. We can then take a look at what's happening for you. That will then give you the confidence to move forward. Chanaka has said, which option should I choose, default option or revenue focused? That depends on what your website goals are, Chanaka. If you're focused on creating revenue at the moment, then we would definitely recommend clicking on that revenue focus button. That puts 70% of the optimization settings focused on earning your revenue and 30% focused on user experience. If you want a more balanced option, so 50% focused on revenue, 50% focused on user experience metrics, and that's what we would recommend, going for that default option. So Anna Mustafa Umar has said, what happens if I was signed to the Ezoic Premium Monthly Plan and mistakenly passed the due date for the payment? Please don't worry. This does happen. We totally understand. All you need to do is, once you're ready to make the payment, reach out to us, Umar, and then we can take a look at that for you and then restart those payments. So obviously in the meantime, your premium income will stop, but it doesn't mean that you will be removed from the premium program. You still will have access to that. So as soon as you're able to make payments again, the premium revenue will start and you'll have access to all those tools and additional support. So I hope that helps. Well, thank you all so much for your questions that have come in. So we've got another couple that have come in. That's fantastic. So MD Habir Rahman has said, I found an article that after 6 to 8 weeks of integration, publisher should see a better result in EPMV and earnings, but don't see this. Should I wait for 12 weeks to get a better result? So the important thing to remember at the moment is it depends when you started with Ezoic. So a lot of sites at this time of year, they've started with Ezoic in sort of October, November, December, when ad rates are at their highest, which means that you're not going to see a jump up in EPMV necessarily the same way that you would have done if you were starting, say, in January. And that's because ad rates at this time of year are naturally low, and that's enhanced even more so with what's happening economically and also geopolitically at the moment as well. So what I would recommend doing is taking a look at this article. This will help you to understand all the different factors that are impacting global ad rates at the moment. And then also what I would recommend doing is, if you're an Access Now publisher, reach out to us on community. We can help support you with suggestions on how to increase your EPMV. Or if you're level 1 or higher, do reach out to us through live chat or tickets, and then the team will be able to assist you with that. So Truck Driver has asked, what is tax ID number? Okay, so with that form, we aren't able to give information on that, and that's because it's a legal document. If you go to the Ezoic support and search tax information, it will bring up a support article that will talk you through all the information that legally we can give you from a tax point of view. If that doesn't answer your questions, what you'll need to do is follow a website that's in the article, which talks you through that information in more detail, or reach out to a tax specialist, a tax accountant, depending on which is the right one for you, to get that legal advice. We're not qualified to be able to give any advice apart from what's in that article. So GameX has said, thanks for your answers. No problem at all. I can understand it's scary when you see your traffic dropping like that. You work so hard to create that content and drive traffic to your site. So I can definitely understand how scary it is. But please do reach out to us, GameX. We'll help you find out what's going on with your site and then what the best next steps are. Mustafa Umar has said, my site has been on revenue focus since when I joined Ezoic. Will my earnings drop if I changed it to balance? Very possibly. And the reason for that is obviously when you are on revenue focused, it is that 70% focus on earning revenue. But the flip side to this is that there's only 30% focus on your user experience metrics on your site. So depending on where your site is in its journey of growth, this might be okay because this might suit your readers and the user experience that you have on your site quite naturally. But if your site's growing, what you might find is that 30% focus on user experience metrics might mean that your site isn't growing from a traffic point of view quite as much as it would do as if it was on balance. So you may find that by switching that extra 20% focus away from revenue onto user experience means that your readers spend more time on your site, which means that we have more time to then monetize those ads for you. So even by dropping down revenue focused to balanced, you may find that you're still earning about the same kind of revenue. Again, it's difficult to say what's definitely going to happen. So what we would recommend doing is if you would like to experiment with that, make sure you go into your big data analytics, make an annotation as to when you're making that change. Obviously, switch on the different optimization settings, leave it for a month, review it, and then go from there. If you want any help looking at that data, do reach out to us either in community or through your Publisher Success Manager, and we can certainly take a look at that for you. So Truck Driver said, can you show any link that has an article on tax information guide? Bear with me, I can, but it's going to mean that my sound's going to switch off. So I'm going to get that article. But bear with me if the sound goes off for a minute or two. I haven't forgotten about you folks. It's just that I'm going to a different screen to be able to get that. So I will be right back in just a moment. Okay, folks, I'm back now. If someone can let me know that my sound's coming through, that would be great. Because I know sometimes when I switch screens like that, the sound does drop off. So if you can just put a yes, or I can hear you in the comments, that would be great. Thank you so much. In the meantime, I've dropped that article in the chat there for you, Truck Driver. So yeah, take a look at that, and that will give you all the answers that you need for the tax information. Where we aren't able to provide the answers that you need, there is a link to a website in there outside of Ezoic, and also we do recommend to speak to a qualified tax specialist. So the next question, Truck Driver said, yes, I can hear you. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing that. That's great. MD Habir has said, Ezoic CDN is better in Asia. Most of my visitors come from Bangladesh, India, UAE. I don't find Ezoic CDN server location list anywhere. That's why I asked, should I use Ezoic CDN for Asia? So we do have CDNs globally. I don't know exactly where they are, but they are globally. So they're not just in Europe, they're not just in the US, they are globally. We have publishers who are based globally and traffic that comes in globally as well. And so we do make sure that our CDNs are globally located to be able to provide that coverage. In terms of exactly where they are, I'm sorry, I don't know, and I'm not sure of where that is listed. I would definitely recommend using this Ezoic CDN for Asia and for anywhere that you are located. It will mean that rather than going back to your host, we just go back to our cache, get the page from there, and show that to your reader who is based in Asia, rather than going back to your host. If you take a look actually at your caching report in Big Data and Analytics, when you've got the Ezoic CDN set up, give it about a month, you'll see that the cache hits that are made are much quicker. They've got much better Core Web Vitals than when the cache is missed. So that will give you confidence that the Ezoic CDN is doing what you need it to do to help your Core Web Vitals and also your site speed as well. MD Hapira said, I can hear you, Heather. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And then SportsGoer said, it's more than a year with Ezoic, but my earnings is very low. It's 0.2 to 0.5 or 8 only. On the other hand, AdSense is giving me much more revenue. Please sort this issue out. I've actually... I think SportsGo, I've responded to your ticket about this earlier today. So if you can take a look at your emails, I've got data on that which I provided for you, which will help you to understand more about what's happening. Just to explain in general, in terms of mediation, when you're seeing mediation revenue that's high within your Ezoic dashboard, that means that Ezoic's doing its job by putting AdSense in a position where it has to outbid itself and everyone else to put ads on your site. And then the more money you get through this, it means that you're not leaving that revenue on the table. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, do follow that up in the Ticket SportsGo, and I can certainly look at that for you there. Tech How has said, hi Tech How, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining today. I wish there'd be a Squarespace plugin for Ezoic. No problem, I'll feed that back. I know a lot of people are using Squarespace at the moment. It's becoming more and more popular. So thank you, Tech How. I will feed that back for you. So Truck Driver said, is it a must I be a US citizen so that my tax information can be processed? For if I am not a US citizen, can I use my country tax information? I'm so sorry, Truck Driver. I'm not able to go into any details about tax. I'm not qualified to be able to answer that question for you. If you reach out to the community team, we can see if there is any additional information that we can give you beyond that article. But I don't have the training on that to be able to answer that one. If you are Access Now, do reach out to us in community. If you're level 1 or higher, reach out to live chat or ticket, and then we can certainly take a look at that for you. SportsGoers said, thank you for your answer. No problem at all. You're so welcome. Well, thank you everybody for joining me today. I really appreciate all the questions that you've asked. You've certainly kept me on my toes, which is fantastic. And I hope it's helped you to be able to get the answers that you'll need, or be able to get to the next step in your journey with getting those questions answered. So do remember, I've got my next session Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So tomorrow, 9 a.m. GMT. And if you think, oh, I really wish I'd asked that question, then do join me then. I'm online for an hour or for as long as the questions come in, similar to today. So please do join me then. Truck Driver has said, share the community link here. No problem at all. I'll just get that for you, Truck Driver, just before we finish. Bear with me. Okay, so that's come through, truck driver. Do let us know your question in community, and yeah, we can certainly take a look at that for you. Like I say, please do bear with us in terms of tax information. There is very little information we can give beyond that article, but where we can, we of course will provide that information. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great day and look forward to joining you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.